runners will have to complete any 3 rows, columns, or diagonals in order to win. So the first to complete 3 lines will win.
And as soon as they do it, their time is, they don't have to beat the game or do anything else. Just as soon as they hit the 3.
Right, as soon as they finish their last goal, the time will end. So you don't complete the game in Odyssey Bingo. Typically you only run up at the most through either snow or seaside kingdoms. And sometimes you finish even earlier than that, just depending on the board. But looks like we're off here. What's going to happen is there's not much to do in cap. It takes 2.5 minutes to get through cap. So as the runners are rolling along here, they're going to be frantically looking at the bingo board and trying to decide what rows, columns, or diagonals they want to go for. There's always a lot of options, a lot of paths you can take. You typically don't see runners going for the same goals. So
mostly cap is how much they've memorized movement-wise and trying not to mess up while they, like, definitely frantically try to get a route.
The only thing they have to make sure they do in cap is collect the checkpoint at the top of the tower, because if they do happen to pick a goal that brings them back to Cap Kingdom later, which happens relatively often, having that checkpoint is really handy, because they'll be able to just warp back up to the top. They need to grab something up there, such as a Captain Toad, or there's some sub areas that you can access up there, rather than climbing through this tower a second time later.
It's usually just like, even if you don't end up using it, the peace of mind of getting it is generally worth it.
Right, it's the kind of thing that's just, it's directly in your way. You just gotta throw your hat at it, as you see Trihex do right there. So it's really the only thing you gotta worry about in cap. The rest is just muscle memory movement from normal speedruns. And yeah, during all these cutscenes and such, they will be looking to see what goals they want to go for. So, Bash, is there anything that pops out to you on this board?
There's a lot of things that I'm looking at this board and I'm sweating, dude.
Well, the first couple things I see is 1,500 coins is kind of a scary goal. It's hard to collect that many coins. You really have to go out of your way for it. 110 moons is quite a lot.
Yeah, those are 2 of the first faces I looked at. I was like, oh my lord.
But a good thing here, from my perspective, is the middle square being 4 moons from using notes. That's a pretty easy goal, honestly. You can get that one knocked out pretty early and not go too far out of your way for it. So the fact that the middle square is a favorable one will open up probably a lot of potential different routes on this board.
Yep. It's nice to see when the middle one isn't just like a space where you look at and you're like, well, I have to disqualify the 6 bingos this could be a part of.
Right. And, oh, and I see 32 moons from Metros on the board as well. That's my personal least favorite square.
That's your least favorite?
Yeah, I think so. I can't think of any that are worse than that.
I hate 20 in Lake more.
Oh, really?
It's not even like... 32 in Metro is way worse.
The perspective I think of it from is getting 20 moons in Lake is getting 12 extra, because naturally you need 8 moons just to leave Lake Kingdom, and Metro you need 20 to leave. So both of those goals are getting 12 extra moons in a particular kingdom, but the Lake moons I find are more, like, Lake is a more compact kingdom than Metro, so I find on average you're going to be able to collect 12 extra moons there quicker than you would in Metro Kingdom.
And I would agree with that, also because, like, Festival exists, and Festival gives you something like 8 moons if you do it all the way, right?
Yeah, it's because you get 4 musicians, the 1 moon in the sewer, and the multi-moon from Festival. But the only time I would say 32 moons in Metro is better than 20 in Lake is if you're doing a lot of moon shards, probably. Like, the combination of a lot of moon shards and sub areas, because Metro is loaded with both of those things. So that's the only time I would say 32 moons in Metro can be favorable.
Yeah, I think that, like, partially it has to do with the synergies, which is a huge thing in Bingo. And in terms of synergies, I think that Lake probably has a lot of better ones, because Lake has, like, more compact sub areas. It's got shards. It's got a treasure chest.
It's got note moons. It's got timer challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the important thing with bingo, to recognize. Like, we say 32 moons in Metro is a bad goal, and 1,500 coins is a bad goal, but everything is circumstantial, so every goal can become worth it, just depending on what else you can pair it up with. So, for example, getting 1,500 coins, there's also 1,000 coins on this board in the middle row. If you can find a route of 3 lines that can implement both of those, it's overlap, so it effectively saves you time. And if you can also overlap it with something like World Peace and Sand Kingdom, which I don't think they're going to be able to do on this board, getting World Peace and Sand Kingdom, there's a lot of large coin stacks that you run past, so it can make that goal a lot easier.
In bingo, when we look for places to get coins, generally we look at Sand or Cascade.
Yeah.
So on this board, like there's 6 sub areas in Sand, there's 6 multi-moons, and we can get 2 multi-moons if we stay long enough in Sand, and then there's also 8 checkpoints. So you could kind of work in and make this 1,500 coin space a lot less like scary, especially since if you do it, you're getting spaces.
And something you see Trihex doing is this this dinosaur sub area. This is another room that gives you a lot of coins. And if you so choose, you can actually leave and come back into the room to just farm some coins. So theoretically, he could just knock out 1,500 coins right now if he just keeps entering and exiting this room. But probably not ideal, but just doing it once or even twice can get you well on your way.
Also, insider info, he doesn't know about coin duping.
He doesn't know about coin duping.
He does not.
Yeah, there is actually a way to run into some of the blocks in these rooms to get more coins than you otherwise would. It's a technique that's used in 100% speedruns.
And it's even starting to be adapted to, I think that darker side might look into it a little bit. I'm not sure.
It's a possibility, but that room also counts as a sub area, so I don't know if there's a total sub area moon goal on this board. Yeah, okay, so there's 16 moons from sub areas, so that can count towards that goal as well. And
there's also 2 sub areas in Cascade.
Okay, so yeah. So he actually did get 2 moons from sub areas in Cascade. I don't know if that's something he's going for, if he's going to mark it or not, but there's a lot of different directions he could be taking by doing that room. He could just be doing it for the 18 moons in Cascade, very likely, because there actually is only 19 moons available in Cascade on the first visit. So he might be going for the 18 moons in Cascade and not doing the coins for the sub areas.
It is a little bit interesting to see that both players are staying extra time in Cascade, but it kind of makes sense considering there's 4-ish spaces that involve Cascade.
Yeah, it's definitely a board where it could be Cascade heavy. And a reason they might be going for, well, they might not even be going for 18 moons in Cascade. There's also a square for 10 moons in Cascade, which they could be doing both of them. Trihex looks like he's going for the board, so I think he's, oh no, he's not, okay. Doing both of them is pretty good, because again, that's overlap, and anytime you can have two different squares that overlap, it's saving you time, effectively. So, yeah, I think they're both definitely at least going for 10. And they're getting regional points too. Is there a regional point goal on here?
No, but I think that... Wait, is there? I didn't see one when I just checked. No, it doesn't look like it. But I think that they both might be looking at maybe returning here to buy, but I'm not sure on that. Oh no, Trihex isn't getting them. Only 04Dude is getting purple.
It could be for stickers. That's the only thing I see that I could think of. Each kingdom has a sticker that you can buy for either 5 or 10 coins, regional coins. But
yeah,
04Dude has gotten 28 regional coins so far, so I'm not entirely sure. He could also be looking to purchase a hat, but those aren't very expensive either, so it might be a case of him not exactly knowing how much they cost and kind of overshooting it to be safe.
Interesting to see how little specific types of moons are on this board. Usually there's like get treasure chests, or we see moons from nuts and we see timer challenges. But it really feels like a lot of this board is do this thing in this place.
Yeah, such as the 2 barrier moons in snow, or the 2 moons in the deep woods.
Trihex tapping these chain chomps. So it looks like he's going for 18 unique captures, because he touched the big one.
Yeah, and 18 unique captures is actually one of, in my opinion, it's one of the more, or one of the easier goals.
I would definitely agree with that.
Typically, you don't have to go too far out of your way to get 18. It's only when it gets, there's goals for like 24, 26, and 28 captures as well, I think. And that's where it starts to get a little trickier. You kind of have to go out of your way for extra captures throughout the entirety of the map.
I can't get over how weird it is that we're almost 11 minutes into the run, and both players are still in Cascade.
Yeah, it's, I mean, that 18 moons in Cascade, it's it takes a while, but it can definitely...
They're definitely going to see the payoff.
Yeah, when you have the overlap. That's what's so interesting about Bingo, is that it's, until you get to like really close to the end, it's kind of impossible to say who's even in the lead. Because at this point, we still don't even know what goals they're going for. Like, we can make some good educated guesses as to individual goals they might be trying to do, but as far as entire rows that they're aiming for, it's really impossible to say at this point.
I love when I'm commentating or I'm in the chat and we're like, oh, he's clearly going for this, and then, oh, just kidding.
Yeah, they pull something completely out of left field. Because what, every goal, even when they start marking goals, every goal on the board is associated with at least a row and a column. And then some of them are also associated with diagonals. And that's why the middle square can become so important, because it's associated with a row, a column, and 2 diagonals. So it's the most, it has the most potential for routing if you can grab the center square. So Trihex needing 3 more moons here in Cascade. And something he could elect to do is come back and grab 2 of them later, because when you revisit Cascade, there's 2 moons that are here that aren't available right now, which is the Shot Moon and a Rolling Rock Moon, which is underneath where the Odyssey is sitting right now. So those 2 are unavailable. But if he has another excuse to come back to Cascade, they could be 2 quick ones that that can
04Dude. 04Dude just behind him, but definitely has more purple coins, maybe looking to take advantage of that. Afforded in the 8-bit room. Trihex going into the Chain Chomp room.
So these will be the last 2 moons that he needs to clear out 18, and 04Dude will need... After completing this room, he'll also need 2 more. So yeah, neither of them has marked 2 moons from sub-areas in Cascade. That might mean that they just haven't gotten around to marking it yet. They might do it during the cutscene, or it might mean that they're not going for that goal. I know a lot of people, myself included, tend to not mark stuff that aren't explicitly in the route that they're trying to do.
Yeah, most players I see definitely try to mark stuff during the cutscene.
Yeah, because you don't want to stop moving in order to mark the bingo board. You want to take advantage of the downtime of cutscenes in between kingdoms or during the crowds and such.
Alright, so 04Dude at 16. Let's see what moves he's going for now. Recollecting purple coins that he goes across and try to chip his way up to those coin goals, maybe.
Yeah, when you collect a hollowed out regional coin, it does give you 2 coins, 2 yellow coins. But we've got a long way to go till 1,000 or 1,500. So Trihex leaving with 17 moons there. I don't think he knew about the last moon in that sub area. So he's probably going to come back and grab either the Rolling Rock Moon or the shop, as I said earlier.
Did just mark 18 though.
Oh, he did. He thinks he has 18. That's not good.
That's not good.
Well, we'll see if he realizes his mistake there, because that's not going to be an appropriate finish for that goal. But on to Sand Kingdom, nevertheless. As 04Dude will clear out the sub area to get his 18th moon. And he does mark that 2 moons from sub areas of Cascade as well, so he was just looking to get to the cutscene before interacting with the board, which is a smart move, I would say.
04Dude actually electing to do it while during a get animation.
Oh, takes a death trying to get out of that sub area. So some of the stuff that we might see them going for in Sand Kingdom here, there's 6 moves from sub areas, which can be done without World Peace, but you have to get all of the sub area moves available to you. You might see them going for multi moons. There's 2 that you can collect in this kingdom. And
04Dude actually didn't collect the second sub area move, Trihex.
Because he only needed 1 in that room to get to 18. Yeah. Something to note with multi-moons is that on the route, naturally, you're probably going to do 4. Because they got 1 in Cascade already. And the 1 in Lake Kingdom is usually pretty fast and favorable to do, as well as the first multi-moon in Wooded Kingdom, and the first multi-moon in Metro Kingdom. So that's kind of 4 freebies. So the 6 multi-moon goal really just entails going out of your way for 2 extra multi-moons. So doing something such as World Peace and Sand, where you get 2 multi-moons, could be enough to finish out that goal.
Generally, we look at that as I need 2 World Peace, Wooded, Metro, or Sand. Since the other ones are usually just already budgeted in.
Right, if you're going for 6, you're definitely going to go for the 4 that I mentioned, 90% of cases. The only one that you might skip out on is the Metro one if you have a good way to finish the board earlier than that.
But at that point, like, it requires a lot more thought. That's usually extremely circumstantial.
Yeah. So in almost all cases, you're going to grab the Cascade, Lake, Wooded, and Metro multi-moons if you're going for that goal.
Both players now in Sand.
There's also 28 moons in Sand as a goal, which is in that first column, which both runners already have 2 goals in, so it might be a column that they're going for. And with that in mind, getting 28 moons in Sand on top of 6 multi-moons is a decent overlap.
Especially when you look at some of the other spaces, like doing 6 sub-areas in Sand, or getting 8 checkpoints, it seems pretty beneficial to spend some time here. You can also work on getting music notes.
If I had to guess, I would say a good thing they might be doing is getting the top row, the bottom row, and the leftmost column. Because the moons in the sub-area moons in Sand, the multi-moons, and the 28 moons in Sand all overlap decently well. And then the rest of the stuff in those rows are not too crazy. Also the 8 checkpoints in Sand. If you're gathering 28 moons in Sand, you're going to kind of be all over the kingdom, so getting 8 checkpoints isn't too hard in that case. So that's some good overlap that we might be seeing, honestly, both of them go for. It's hard to say at this point. Probably by the time we leave Sand, we'll know whether or not, like, if they are going for that, we'll know by the time.
Yeah, there'll be pretty much no mistaking if they end up getting 28 moons.
Right.
Unless they really just wanted to hit that 110 moon total and they wanted to over collect.
That could be a possibility as well. I'd say much more likely to just be going for the 28 in sand in this case.
Yeah.
And yeah, Trihex already has 10 moons, and he's definitely taking a different, like, he's not taking just an any percent approach. So I think it's probably safe to say that he's going for that 28 moons in sand at this point.
Yeah. And I think that he's
guards means that he's on his way to potentially complete world peace as well.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Coming over here the way that he did screams, I'm looking to world peace this kingdom.
Right. Because this shard moon is one that's required to get world peace if you're not using Eclipse, because it opens up the pyramid, which has the next story moon. The 04Dude looks like he's taking more of a any percent approach to sand, but we'll see if he decides to wind up collecting extra moons or not. It doesn't look like it so far.
Yeah, definitely. He is calling Jaxi, though.
So a reminder, the goal here is to finish any 3 lines on the bingo board, any 3 rows, diagonals, or columns.
Trihex following in his footsteps a little bit. There we go. 04Dude doing the Jaxi room. So he might be just doing this for sub-areas, but he could also be doing it for music.
So I didn't catch what Trihex did there. Did he warp after collecting the shard moons?
I didn't see it either. I was watching 04. But I would assume that he warped to where Goombet would be.
Either that or the top of the tower.
Yeah.
So even if so Trihex over at the Oasis here, and this is his 16th moon, so he might actually be looking to leave the kingdom here. Or he might be looking to just clean up other sections of the kingdom after dropping the Snow Moon.
Trihex's first music note moon, I believe.
Yes, because there are none in Cascade.
And I don't think he did Jaxi room.
He did not. So this was his first opportunity to get a note moon. If that is indeed something.
Oh, it looks like he's going back for it. $40, picking up some purples. Yeah, there really are not a lot of purples on this board either.
No, the only ones I saw were in Cap, and that might be it actually. 15 regional points in Cap, but you could be using regional points to buy hats.
Hats, stickers.
Yeah. But again, those aren't too expensive. Those are 5 coins each. A hat in any kingdom is 5, and a sticker is either 5 or 10. Kingdoms that have 100 total regional points, the sticker will cost 10. And kingdoms that have 50 total, the sticker will cost 5. Sand being a kingdom that has 100 total, so you would need 10 to get the sticker here.
Oh, 40 doing the 1 moon sub area.
Oh, faulty ground pound there.
I think that the depth perception there kind of tricked him, because I thought he was over the platform.
I think there are a lot of places in this game where the depth perception could be a hard time. So yeah, Trihex up to 19 moons now, so I'd say probably going for those 28 moons, and he might be looking to finish out Peace still after grabbing this Jaxi moon. He's gonna answer some questions here for an extra moon from, or not Jaxi, from Sphinx.
O04Dude taking the Jaxi ride after doing Jaxi room. Oh, after doing the ice sub room.
He's gonna try to clip into the pyramid here. Clips are banned by default for this tournament, but the runners can kind of come to a gentleman's agreement to allow them if they so choose, and these two chose to do that.
Yep, the only things that are not allowed in this race are first moon skip and the 1.2 Luigi hint dart.
Yeah, the 1.2 Luigi hint darts being something that can get you extra coins. But
which actually would have really impacted this board, I think.
Yeah, it would have for sure. There's one in that you can get in sand, and each one gives you 200 coins. So if you can run your way into 2 or 3 Luigi hint darts along the route, that can get you up to 600 coins. That's pretty significant. But I think 04Dude probably playing on a previous patch.
Yeah,
so,
he's playing on 1.0, I think.
Yeah, and you can only get those hint darts on 1.2. So for fairness, they, I suppose, elected to not allow them.
Trihex also entering the pyramid.
He got the shard moon, so he doesn't have to spend his time trying to clip. I guess he figured since he's getting 28 moons anyway, that the shard moon was a good idea to gather. Make it a little easier on himself. Not sure what he's going for here. Enters the pyramid and then decides to take a different direction.
Ooh, 04Dude barely missing the gap jump. Although it did look like he wasn't interested in getting the secret chest here.
Trihex gonna go for a ride on Jaxi. We'll see where he wants going. He might be going to take these sub areas over here.
Yeah, definitely looking like that.
Probably entering the pyramid and realizing that he's up to 23 moons already and deciding better of getting a multi-moon up here. Maybe a last second thought of some other moons he could collect. And did he get the Jaxi sub area with the notes?
Trihex?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Okay,
Both runners got it, I think.
So this would be his 4th sub area moon in sand.
I'm starting to second guess myself a little bit, but I saw him warp back, and I'm pretty sure he got it. Because he bought Jaxi, and that would be the only opportunity for him to buy it.
Right.
04Dude done with the Harriet fight.
So I think Trihex going for the checkpoints, potentially.
Yeah.
Only reason I can think of for him to backtrack over to this area. So yeah, something of an oddity this board is, because you don't typically see runners still being in Sand Kingdom almost a half an hour in, but they had a lot of stuff that they wanted to clean up in Cascade and Sand Kingdoms. So,
it is pretty weird to see a board where the first 2 real kingdoms are so, like, heavy.
Yeah, I think most of the time you kind of want to get into Sand Kingdom and get out quickly. A lot of times there's not too much that you want to mess around with here, but this board definitely being an instance of being very sand heavy. So 04Dude up to 16 moons now, so he can leave Sand Kingdom at any point that he wants. But I imagine he's still looking to get extra moons here, based on his hesitation. And this will be the 5th and 6th sub-area moons in Sand Kingdom for Trihex, and it will also finish out 28 Kingdom.
Did he tap a Moai?
I'm not sure if he captured a Moai.
I don't think he did, but I doubt it'll be that big of a deal for him.
I mean, he might not
if he is going for 18
captures, but he doesn't need that Moai capture for 18, as we said earlier. It's not.
Yeah.
You don't really have to exhaust all your options to get 18. It's pretty easy, as long as you're somewhat conscious of it. So yeah, Trihex's gonna leave here with 45 moons, which is quite a lot. You know, it's only 21 required to leave here normally. So yeah, very sand and cascade heavy board we got here. Now off to Lake Kingdom. So Trihex also didn't mark the 6 moons for sub-areas in sand, so he didn't get either multi-moon, so he might not be going for that top row, as we first guessed earlier.
I think that he might be doing the diagonal.
It's possible, for sure. Either diagonal really is possible.
I don't think he's going for the right diagonal.
By right diagonal, you mean?
Top right to bottom left, sorry.
Yeah. I think that one's a little less likely, but he is getting a Nodes Moon there, and he did get the 2 in Sand. He can actually get a 4th one here in Lake Kingdom.
Yeah, I think he will get the 4th one here.
Yeah, so I think pretty convincingly he's going for at least one of those diagonals, or possibly the center row. But I think more than likely he's going for that top left to bottom right diagonal. You just have to complete 3 bingos in order to win. You don't have to complete the game.
Oh, 04 dude. About halfway through the Olmec fight. Wow, Trihex fights another boss.
Yes, this is the little scene boss of Sand Kingdom. Unless you're doing a world peace speedrun. It's something that you don't see a lot of people go for in Bingo, because it's quite time-consuming. You really need the right conditions for it to be worth it.
It's also really inconvenient in a lot of situations where you fight Harriet and then it warps you to the Odyssey, and then you have to warp to fight him.
Right, so it's actually the second boss, the second boss in the kingdom. So you have to go through 2 like long cutscenes after multi-moons. So a lot of people stray away from it. Yeah, row 1, row 5, column 1 was our initial thought when they got the moons in Cascade. And 04Dude might still be going for it. Because the 6 multi-moons, he's well on his way. He's got 3 already. With 3 easy ones left to collect. Let's go for this timer challenge. There is 5 timer challenges on the board, so I think he got 2 in Cascade Kingdom.
Definitely got 2 in Cascade.
And he got that one there. There is one other timer challenge in Lake Kingdom here that he might be going for. Looks like either he's going to go up to the Notes Moon in the 2D section. Yeah.
Yep. 04 dude still hanging around in sand. I think he's trying to rack up sub areas. Or he's trying to rack up moon.
Probably just getting that moon total. So this will be Trihex's 4th Notes Moon. So he's going to go ahead and be able to mark that goal. And he'll probably go for that other timer challenge. And that would bring him up to 4 out of 5, so he'd only need 1 more to complete that goal as well. So racking up some finished goals here in Lake Kingdom.
Are there any lake-specific goals here?
I don't believe so.
No.
So he's going to come in here and probably purchase a moon. Either maybe a sticker,
Sticker?
an outfit.
Purchase 4 hats in column 5 in row 4.
Purchase 4 hats, you're right. Yeah, so he's going for hats. Which means he might be doing the last column or the 4th row. So I guess another possibility is... I don't know.
I went silent because I'm trying to think of how all of the spaces he's marked would all overlap. Because I don't think that there is a way, right? It would have to be a minimum of 4 bingos.
I mean, he might have rerouted in the middle here.
I think that a reroute here is probably more likely.
I'd say if he rerouted something, he probably routed out that 18 moons in Cascade. And he might be doing row 3, row 5, and column 5. But he also, because he didn't get the second timer challenge in late. So he might not be going for the timer challenges after all.
So let's see, he would have 3 right now, right?
Yeah, he has 3.
So then he would get potentially 1 more in Deepwood. And then he could get the 5th one in Metro.
And he does have a lot of sub-areas so far. I think he has 12 moons from sub-areas right now. So getting to 16 would be very quick for him.
I think he's still fine for column 1 if he can realize that he actually doesn't have the first space.
So he is going into Deep Woods here. So possibly picking up the timer challenge.
Ah, Trihex could be going for the H. That is right.
Yeah, that's true. He could be, and not utilizing that 10 moons of Cascade that he achieved. So there is a timer challenge down here. Not much else useful that I can see on this board that you can get in the Deep Woods. So it might just be for the timer challenge and... Oh no, there is 2 moons in the Deep Woods as a goal. Okay. But that would mean he's not going for the H. But if he just was coming down here for the timer challenge, then he might just be figuring out, might as well grab some more moons while I'm in the area. But we'll see what approach he takes here.
04Dude definitely dumped some moons into Odyssey, right? There's no way he... I feel like he's done way more moons here.
I don't recall him dumping any moons. He may have, though. It may just be an instance of having eyes bigger than your stomach and not necessarily knowing off the top of your head where 28 moons in sand are, because it is a rather large moon count. So 8 moons from Nuts is a goal on this board. This would be Trihex's first Nut moon. And there are 8 available through normal means before doing the first boss fight in this kingdom. So 8 is a pretty quick goal.
Okay, 04Dude did dump.
He did previously dump moons.
Yeah, because he had 18, I think, when he just dumped.
Okay. Well, no, because he had 18.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So let's.
So you got 22 there then. So there's a third nut for Trihex.
Is there anything in wooded about sub areas? No.
But there is the 16 total. So
Yeah.
this would give him 13 and 14 in this room.
Which he should be at something, yeah, 14.
Yeah, because he got 6 in Cascade and 6 in Sand.
04Dude opting to go to cap now, which is, I think this is the ideal time to backtrack to cap.
Yeah, I'm a fan of early backtracking.
Yeah, I've only recently caught on to that.
If it doesn't make too big of a difference, but it is like slightly less menuing. And I just like the concept of knocking goals out of the way early. So if he's coming here for 15 regional coins in cap, that's just another thing he can check off on his board, and kind of gives you the illusion of looking like you're closer to done, and that can just
Getting in your opponent's head. It was actually something I started advocating for so early on, and people rolled their eyes. I was like, yeah, but if you're further along on the board, you start to stress out your opponent.
Because the more empty goals you have on the board, the more you have to keep track of in your head as well. So if you can just complete something right away early, and mark it on the board, get it out of your mind, focus on the stuff that you have to do in later kingdoms. I think it's a good strat. I think it can help out.
Yeah.
So barrier moons refers to the story moons in Snow Kingdom. There's 4 tunnels that you go into. That each, when you collect the moon at the end of them, they open up one of the barriers to get down to the Bountiful area. So that's what that goal is referring to. You effectively have to complete 2 of those tunnels.
And you only have to get the only ones that count are the ones that actually open the barriers, and you only have to get those ones.
Right. So there's 2 moons in each tunnel, and it's just the one at the end that opens the barrier.
Ooh, Trihex went for Flower Path skip, but it was actually able to recover it and didn't end up falling.
Yeah, nice save there. It's a lot of times when you go for that triple jump, you just wind up too far out to even save it, so good stuff from him. Not taking a death there.
04Dude getting 1 moon in cap, and
the treasure chest room in Deep Woods does not count as a sub area.
Yeah, not a sub area.
Sub areas are typically either cap doors, pipes, or just like open doorway loading zones. I know that one was a pipe, but it's actually not a sub area. And most sub areas have 2 moons in them. That's a good way to tell. And again, not all of them do. There's a couple exceptions, but
yeah,
if it's an area that you go through a loading zone to get to, and there's 2 moons in it, it most likely counts as a sub area. But there's a nice bingo cheat sheet that we have that specifically lays out what counts towards every goal. So it lists all the timer challenges in each kingdom, all of the note moons in each kingdom, all the sub areas in each kingdom. Anything that you could possibly have as a question is in the cheat sheet, as Vash just linked in the chat for you guys if you want to check it out.
04Dude did get 15 regionals in cap. He bought something with purple coins, so it looked like he only had 10, but he got 15.
Yeah, so when you purchase things, the counter in the top left will only show how many you currently have. But when you collect coins, a little thing pops up saying how many total coins you've collected out of the total in the kingdom.
Which actually throws some people off sometimes. Same with if you dump moons in a kingdom and then get more. Oh, I haven't gotten enough moons.
Right. No, Trihex has 4 timers because he skipped out on one of the timers in Lake Kingdom. But then he got the one in Deep Woods, so he's at 4 right now. There's a quick one in Metro that he can get. Then there's also ones in Seaside if he would wind up going there. But this board isn't a very good Seaside board now that I think about it.
Yeah, I think I would prefer Snow.
There is 10 non-underwater moons in Seaside, though, and Trihex already has 4 goals in that row, so I'd say he probably is going to Seaside. But I think a lot of boards are very heavily skewed in favor of going to Seaside rather than Snow. Because you do only have to go to one of those kingdoms, you have a choice. After completing Metro, you can choose whether to go to Snow or Seaside. And
ooh, 04Dude. Going for the costume clip here in Lake.
This clip is a tougher one, in my opinion. He gets it there, not too
Wow.
many tries. Let's see if he can actually make it into the room, though. And he does.
And he does, wow.
So 04Dude, a connoisseur of the clipping, it seems. So another thing Trihex could be doing is row 4, row 5, and column 1. I don't know if I mentioned that, but since it does look like he's going to Seaside, getting 4 checkpoints is a pretty quick goal if you're already going there. And he does have a lot of extra moons. So getting to 110 wouldn't be too crazy.
Alright, according to people, Trihex did actually get both in Lake.
Oh, he did get both in Lake. Okay. I know he got both Notes moons, but I thought he had skipped out on that timer challenge up at the boss arena.
So interesting seeing that, like, Trihex is, quote, ahead by 3 kingdoms, but the board pretty much puts them about equal.
They both have 8 goals checked off right now, so. But even having the same number of goals checked off is not a good indication.
Yeah. Because I mean, there are many bases that are, you know, you work on them for 5, 6 kingdoms, and you only get to mark it on that 6th kingdom.
Right. So nothing to take care of in Lost Kingdom. Trihex just gonna collect his 10 moons and be on his way to Metro.
Didn't mark timer challenges, and I don't know if he got 8 nuts.
I don't think he got 8 nuts because he didn't get the nut around the corner after the sub area. So I don't think he got 8. But a pretty decent chance he's not going for that anyway. Because doing that column would require a trip to Snow. I'd say it's far more likely that he's going to Seaside.
I think it'll also be pretty interesting to see if both players, whether or not either player skips the Snow or Seaside.
Yeah, I think it's possible on this board.
It is. It's column 1, row 1, top left diagonal.
Yeah. Yep.
I routed that by, like, Cascade. Will brag.
Yeah, because there only is 2 Seaside goals and 1 Snow goal on this board. And 2 Metro goals. So if you can avoid those 5, then that would be a pretty quick route.
04Dude looking like he's leaving Lake.
So he's up to 4 multi-moons now. Should be.
Yeah. Also, not much to do here on this board in CISA, I mean in Metro. So...
Yeah, I don't think either of them are going for 32 moons, and Captain Toad's a possibility, but 04Dude, it looks like he's going for row 1, row 5, and the top left to bottom right diagonal. Trihex taking a tumble in the Town Hall.
Town Hall is brutal because pretty much a mistake at any point means resetting the room. And I don't remember, does the cycle reset on death?
It does, but it's slightly different.
Yeah.
Like the room loading from a death is just slightly off from what it would be from entering from the loading zone.
Because I think Mario ends up in a different position.
It's the same position, it's just the timing of when you're able to control Mario is different.
Okay. And a lot of people just muscle memory a lot in this room.
Yeah, so if your cycle is even slightly off, it can throw you off quite a bit. And yeah, this is one of the more punishing rooms in the game. There's not too many areas where if you have one misinput, you're gonna die, but this is one of them.
And Trihex nails it.
First try. And we'll see what kind of pattern the Wiggler blesses us with today.
And looks like a 2 cycle.
Yep. Nice 2 cycle. He had a pretty favorable pattern that he ran along the wall in there. Sometimes he can really be an annoyance, coiling up amongst itself and not allowing you to hit some sections. But Wiggler played nice today. For now.
Oh, 04 getting his deep wood moons. Already marked the goal. So let's see what Trihex decides to do now that he's in Bay Metro. Will he just any percent, or will he get some sub areas? Look to maybe pick up some coins.
He does need 2 more sub areas to complete that goal, but I'd say he's probably not going for it anyway.
I would probably say, I honestly, I don't know what this.
Yeah, I'm. Sometimes you just gotta let them do their thing and not try to get so much in their head, because everyone approaches this differently. That's one of the interesting things about it. It's hard to predict what people are gonna do with something as wide open as Bingo.
Oh, 04 leaving deep woods now.
So Trihex
buying a moon. So this is his 3rd? No, it's gotta be his 4th.
I actually haven't been keeping track of how many he's purchased. I believe he got one in Lake because he was in the shop.
I'm also confident in that.
But beyond that, I'm not too sure.
I think that might be his first purchase moon. No, his maybe his 3rd.
And do you happen to know what his moon count is? His total moon count after Lost Kingdom?
He's got to be around 60, 70, like right now. So he'll be
There's 20
upper.
required in Metro.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I think he had around 48 or something after leaving Sand. And that would put him at minimum at... I try to not fry my brain from doing simple math.
Chad is saying that Trihex has 4 block moons.
4 pot moons? Yeah. Okay.
So if he goes to cap, he can purchase his last one there.
I'd say Trihex will probably be close to like 90-something moons after Metro. Because he did collect 11 extra in Cascade. Well, actually 10, because he's short one. Or 12. Because you need 5 in Cascade, and he collected 17. So he has 12 extra there, and 12 extra in Sand. Or it might have been 11, because I think he got 29 moons there. So yeah, he should be up close to 100 moons by the time he exits Metro, which means his 10 in Seaside would put him very close to 110, if not get him there entirely. So there's one timer challenge available without getting world peace in Metro Kingdom.
And it is
Trihex
the weirdest of the
up.
timer.
Yeah, for sure. So it's right here. Just pull that lever. Moon appears at the end of the street here. This counts as a timer challenge, so that'll be Trihex's 5th. Which would mean all he has to do is collect his moons in Seaside, make sure one of them is a purchased moon, get 4 checkpoints.
Well, he still doesn't have 18 Cascade.
Right, right. So 1 more moon in Metro here, some cleanup in Seaside, and going back to Cascade for 1 moon. So Trihex has a good path to completion here.
I would agree.
Okay, so he's at 100 exactly. So his moon count is actually perfect, more or less. At least in his mind, it's perfect because I think he believes he has 18 moons in Cascade and he needs only 10 in Seaside. So he actually planned that out really well.
But does this really help him? Because, I mean... Oh, okay, row 4.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah.
So yeah, that 4 moons for music note's going to be a non-factor here for Trihex.
Man, he almost quad bingoed.
Yeah, he's going to be 1 goal off of a quad bingo. So 10 non-underwater moons. If you don't go into sub-areas in Seaside, it's kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel a little bit. I think there's maybe 12 or 13 above water moons that you can get.
It's something around there. It's a little bit above 10.
And then there's 2 sub-areas, I think, that are above water. So it's something in the neighborhood of 17 or 18 moons total that are possible. But 3 of those are story moons that have a cutscene associated with them. So you kind of generally want to avoid those 3.
Yep. There are like situations where those 3 kind of help you do other things, but it's not relevant for this board.
Oh, Trihex short on coins by 4, so he's gonna have to go collect 4 more coins and come back to the shop. And
luckily, there's a weirdly placed coin ring right over here for him.
The Mario game classic, just spinning coin rings randomly placed wherever.
Oh, 04Dude leaving Wooded.
So he'll be on his way to run the Cloud and Lost Kingdom Gauntlet. It's kind of... Generally, there's not much to do in those kingdoms. You just gotta kind of get through them.
Yeah.
So you can get to Metro. There are some things you can complete in Lost. Like, there are goals.
Yeah, like 8-bit, shard, cabin.
Yeah. There's an 8-bit moon, there's a shard moon. There's a capture. There's a couple captures in Lost Kingdom. But in general, one of the kingdoms with less action in your typical bingo.
I would definitely agree with that.
And Cloud, this is just a boss fight. You can't do anything here until you revisit it. So Trihex is electing for this sub area for 2 of his.
Making very short work of it.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. I always tend to die there.
Yeah. And it can be super tilting. Oh, 04Dude doing Bowser.
So that's gonna be number 6 for non-underwater moons for Trihex. And I think the smart play here would be to grab a Gushin and grab some of the moons on the flip side. So Trihex can elect for this, one of the story moons that I referenced earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Story moons have a bit of a longer cutscene associated with them. It's nothing too crazy in this case, especially because there's another cutscene for ground pounding that cork, and he doesn't actually have to do that because he just had to collect the moon. So unless you're looking to fight the boss, you don't actually need to uncork any of the corks.
Not electing to go from that cork to the lighthouse.
I think that's the smart play, because he can collect 3 pretty quick moons with the Gushin here.
Yeah, but he still needs checkpoints.
Oh, he does need checkpoints, you're right.
And the lighthouse would have given him one.
I'm assuming he got the one by the volleyball area, and there's another 2 right in this general area. There's one right by this cork, and then there's one just below it.
Also important to note that 04Dude did meme tree successfully, so no klepto yet.
Yet. It's always a possibility.
Klepto is always watching, waiting.
So 04Dude employing the trick of standing right on top where that butterfly spawns and going first-person mode. Oh, and Trihex did not get checkpoints. Maybe he's gonna go back to Cap. But I don't know why he would.
Maybe he's gonna go to lunch.
And he's going back to Cap.
Yep.
So he's gonna collect those 15 regional coins, and that, other than his 1 moon he needs to collect in Cascade, that'll complete his board. Who knows, maybe he realized his mistake that he needs to go back to Cascade and figured pit stop in Cap.
I don't think that he realized that he has 110 total.
It's possible. That's the thing with bingo. There's a lot to keep track of in your head, and it does happen sometimes where you inadvertently complete goals that would help you, or just would be better routing, and you just don't realize it. Kind of once you have your route in your mind, you kind of ignore everything else. At least I do.
Yeah, there are some times where I like look at a bingo and I'm like, do I have enough moon? Usually I only take the high totals. Usually I only take the high totals if I see enough extra moons on the rest of the board.
So we're letting Trihex know that he is indeed short on Cascade moons. So he's going to roll back to the Odyssey and take a trip to Cascade and collect one more moon. But that is all he needs to do in order to finish this off and get the win.
04Dude is pretty close.
Yeah, he's within striking distance. He still needs the multi-moon, which is the Wiggler fight. That will get him his 6th.
And then he would purchase, I think he only needs one more.
The only problem here is he does still need to go to Cascade to round out his route, and that's going to require getting through the entirety of Metro.
Trihex opting to go to Lake to get the Pentart, get his last one in Cascade, but
that's actually a lake.
He's also going to realize that that is actually a lake moon. So. I love chat right now.
I can't hold it, dude.
So now Trihex will get the Rolling Rock here for his actual 18th moon.
Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Holy shit, that was so bad.
Well, some, not ideal, but you did win, after all.
You did win. Good game.
Oh, that was such a terrible board. I couldn't even... It was everything I hated all rolled to one giant garbage burrito of a board.
So, my question is, did you have a bit of mid-run rerouting?
No, I had a big case of reading illiteracy and oversight. I marked it just so that y'all had something to commentate on, but I apparently forgot to mark. I even checked. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing anything extra, right? And I somehow purchased 4 hats, stood there, so I was like, oh my god, I'm an idiot. Why is this there? That was just done because I just forgot to unmark it entirely. If you mean that one, but I committed in Cascade to do top left, column 1, row 5.
Gotcha.
I saw a lot of things I wanted to avoid. I wanted to avoid 110.
Well, funny that you mentioned that.
You actually got 110.
You actually got 110.
I believe it. I saw in the midst of doing a crap ton of moons and sand, I'm like, I probably could do row 4 at this point, but
yeah, because you got 12 extra moons in sand, 12 or 13. You got the 18 in Cascade, so that's 15 extra, and then 10 in Seaside, so that's like 40-something extra moons from, you know, the 75 that you need to naturally get through Metro. So yeah, just from all the extra moons you got to 110.
And you were only, I think, 1 checkpoint off from having 4 checkpoints in Seaside.
I think 2. You needed to collect 2 more. So you actually could have just collected 2 more checkpoints in Seaside instead of going to Cap to finish that off. but
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I don't think that's too much of a difference. The thing that we initially thought when we saw that you guys got the Moons and Cascade is that one of you was going to go for row 1, row 5, and column 1. Because of the multi-moons and sand would get you 6 and would also get you close to 28.
Mhm.
So that's kind of that was what we were thinking when we saw that you guys were doing the Cascade goals. But neither of you actually wound up going that route.
No, I could very well tell I was taking a terrible route. I couldn't think of anything in time. I was gonna have to stall in sand and just figure it out, which I didn't want to do. I was scared to do that.
And Vash actually mentioned earlier that this sport that does have a route, I think it has a couple routes where you don't even have to go to snow or seaside.
Yeah, column 1, row 1, top left diagonal. Top left, bottom right.
Top left, bottom right, and what other two?
Column 1, row 1.
You would do world peace and sand.
Yeah, I wish I had. I look at it now, and row 1 is not that bad if you just commit to doing world peace somewhere. Which, given how many moons I went over, that's something I should have definitely considered. But I was kind of panicking. It was my board. Okay, when I'm marking the bad squares, there was so much bad. It was like there's too much bad to filter, and that's where I got freaked out.
That was kind of what we had talked about early on, where we saw
like immediately
a couple of spaces,
100 coins, 110 moons, and 32 in Metro, and we were just like, okay, this is
one of those boards.
Yeah, just one of those. And the thing about 6 multi-moons is it kind of locks you into world peace and sand. Like for this board, it was fine, but on other boards, if I'm not doing sand world peace, I'm not touching 6 multi-moons with a 10-foot pole, because since you're already getting 1 in both wooded and metro, you'd wind up having to get world peace in 2 extra kingdoms, as opposed to just the 1 extra world peace in sand.
Yeah, I just tons of regret. I played horrible. Though GG's to 04. But I got my first match done. That was like, I won't be as nervous next time, maybe.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
But you know, a win is a win. So
I will also say that I don't think that either of you are doing too terribly. I like a lot of the decisions that 04Dude made. I like a lot of the decisions that you made.
Let me see. What did he go for? Yeah, he. Where did he get world peace that I didn't?
He got sand.
Okay.
The thing that kind of hurt 04Dude, I think, is he spent a lot of time scrambling in sand. I don't know if he was initially planning to do 22 moons, because he did get 22 or 28. He got 22, and then kind of scrambled a bit and pieced out of sand. So I don't know if it was just a case of him not quite knowing where all the moons are and not being able to finish that goal. But
so, a quick question: Can I unmute my my?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Unmuted and done. Okay, cool. Got it. So let's talk about the elephant in the room here, the 18 moon cascade. 2 things here. One, terrible time to try out a goal I've never had before. I've never gone for like max cascade moons.
Well, 18 is tough because on the first visit there's only 19 available, so you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel there.
Really, I thought I did everything, and I'm like, okay, I guess I have to do like, I don't know, in the middle of like a million computations, I thought, yeah, warp painting or whatever, pin art. I was thinking it was a warp painting when really it's pin art, and I'm like, oh my god. That's probably my thought at one point.
I think you missed out on the second moon in the Chain Chomp sub area.
No, he missed out, I think, on the second moon in the dinosaur room. I don't think he actually ended up collecting one of them.
I
remember reading it that like you had achieved one of the second moons, but just didn't pick it up or something.
Oh my god, I did. I freaking just. Oh, it's so stupid. That's what freaked me out.
But to go back a second, it's interesting that you mentioned that you got the warp painting thing mixed up, because, man, it really feels like maybe that was talked about today.
It was literally, it was a scenario I ran through earlier today, and I just, 55 million things going through my head. I was questioning my route a ton. Like, I was probably as late as walking out of Lake. I'm like, this route, row 4, top left diagonal.
It's one of those scary ones because it was super sand and cascade heavy. So you were leaving sand at like the half-hour mark.
Yeah.
It's just like, even if it's not necessarily bad, it just looks bad and feels bad in your mind because you're so used to leaving sand at like 12 minutes or something.
Yeah, I feel really happy when I'm leaving sand. I would say sub 20, but I've gotten a lot better since I used to use that as a mark of how good I'm doing.
Yeah, this board was kind of begging you to do sand though, in my opinion.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, definitely. I will say 1,500 coin, that's probably the one that made me the most angry. That square blocked a lot of things I wanted to do.
The only good thing about that is that 1,500 coins and 32 moons in Metro were in the same row. So they at least didn't block out as much as they could have.
Right, yeah, the gatekeepers, if you will. My text said my brain was turning into mush at 10 minutes left, or the final 10 minutes of my run. I agree. I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. When I had to go back to Cascade, I was like, I actually thought, if under some situations, I thought I got everything here. I thought it was only 18 available, period, and that I even debated like not getting the second one in a sub room, so I could just do my big brain play and use the quote unquote warp painting in Cascade, really in Art Moon, but use that to get my 18th one to get out of here. That was an idea I had.
I don't know which moon you skipped out on. Did you get Captain Toad?
No, the moon I skipped was we covered earlier. It was the T-Rex sub room with the coins. I didn't get the second one.
Well, yeah, but there should be another one that you missed because there's 19 available.
Did I not? Let me see here. Actually, maybe I did get Toad. There were so many things I did wrong here. Oh man.
Cause yeah, there's 19, and then there's 2 more when you come back. That rock moon that you got is one that is there on a revisit, and then the shop moon.
Oh, shop! I didn't get shop on revisit.
And he skipped the secret and chain chomp according to Jack.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I did skip secret chain chomp? Seriously? Chain chomp room was so slow. There's no way I forgot to do that. Yeah, I forgot Captain Toad. I'm dumb. I forgot about shop round 2. I'm dumb.
Okay, yeah. So. Well, forgetting about the shop is fine, I think, because I think getting that rock is faster.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't think you didn't have enough coins anyway for the shop moon.
Definitely did not have enough coins.
But
yeah, there was some funny moments there where I forgot to
96 coins.
Yeah, I'm just spamming A like I'm in middle deep in thought like, okay, next step is, and just spamming A like hello, hello, hello. Millennial Simulator 2018.
Why can't you just give me the moon?
Where's the welfare on this game? The welfare check. Oh man. But yeah, I wasn't happy here. I definitely saw that. I'm like, man, I'm running around sand a bunch for minimal accomplishment. I'm going in deep woods. Stuck in Cascade forever. I'm getting a ton of moons. That's gonna be mad at me. I'm doing like 3 bulk moon goals. I'm trying to avoid those. I'm passing up 18 capture, I'm passing up stickers, I'm passing up, multi-areas, which I'm practically doing in sand anyway. I probably accidentally did I practically did.
I think you did get 16 total sub-areas as well.
And I also think you did 6 in sand.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, big L, should have definitely got world peace. That 6 multi is what scared me out of that. I should have definitely did it anyway.
The 6 multi is a scary goal, for sure.
Yeah. 6 multi, you have to be very confident that it's going to work out. Same with like 110 total. 110 total, you have to really think, all right, am I going to be enough, or do I have to just collect what I see and hope that it kind of works out and is fast enough? Which is really scary to do early on in the run.
Yeah, it's not a square I'm excited to ever do. How is I'm gonna put a stream. I don't have to like sit here and be in stress mode anymore. I can see how he's doing.
So he's on his way to Seaside. right now. He just left Metro.
He's looking to purchase his last moon, I think, and
You get the 10 non-underwater. So he's just
Yeah.
got basically 10 moons to collect here, and he'll be done.
Can you give me some intel about 04? I want to root him on and stuff. Is he he's an 80% runner, or he's like new to the community, or?
I actually don't know. I'm not
neither do
familiar.
I.
We can see if he has times posted on the leaderboard.
Will I be at SGDQ? I will be. I'll be on. I'll be helping commentary on Couch for world record GOAT Nick Rovetta.
It looks like he dabbles a little bit in any percent, but he really likes to look into other categories. He did talk a 2% in the race the other day with Curvis Timpani and Isia.
Whoa. Talkatu? What are these meme categories? What is this?
Oh, you haven't heard of Taka 2%?
Oh my lord.
Meme
Man.
on the block?
So this is something new, newer than like.
Yeah, it's
Relatively,
like
yeah.
a week.
I'll go on. I'm listening.
So you gotta. The goal is to collect enough moons to advance in each kingdom solely based on the recommendations of Taka 2.
Oh my god. So you have to go to Talkatu, see what they give you for RNG, and then
Yep.
find that moon. And then come back and talk to them again.
Yep.
Every time.
So you can get 3 hints at a time. So you can get 3 moons.
Oh,
and then come back.
okay.
But then you can also do stuff like assign seeds, in which case you either wait 20 minutes for the seed to grow, or you operate with 2 suggestions at a time for the rest of that kingdom.
Oh my god, are you? So you can get like super RNG.
Oh, you can get
Hell.
destroyed.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
Also,
That's like chaos 80%, like before Odyssey. That's crazy.
04 mostly runs fast Wolvers.
So a connoisseur of the meme categories, it seems,
And bingo.
and bingo.
Oh lord. Alright, hang on a second. Let me fix this real quick. Alright, let me see here.
So 04Dude halfway through his 10 moons in Seaside now.
Okay. Alright, I also had some regret in Seaside too. By the time I got to that point, I was so insecure that I doubted myself in every regard. I'm like, oh my god, can I get 10 without going to a sub room? I don't even know, whatever, just go to a sub room and do it. And then I get out of them, I'm immediately like, oh my god, there's so many above grounds I haven't even touched yet, having gone to the left half of the map. So like,
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
actually
I'm
talking about
sure.
that. I think there's like 13 or 14 that you can get above ground that aren't sub areas.
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
But 3 of them are those, Cork moons that have the cutscenes.
right, so there's exactly 10 you can get that are non-cork above ground.
I think I have a route where I do, if I'm doing the shot moon, I can just get one of the corks and it's pretty quick. Because I grabbed the one that you grabbed because it's right next to the Gushins.
Right.
And then you can just take the Gushins over to all those ones on the cliff side. Actually, I think there's more than I think, because there's a Goombet one that you can do that I always forget about. But that one's kind of slow. 'Cause you have to walk the Goomba all the way up that ramp.
Also, like that one weird ground pound that's it's like in the water, but it's still like it's in like the reef between Oasis.
Yeah, it's in like the shallow water, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's technically, that counts as an above ground moon.
yeah, that's what I assumed.
And yeah, there's that other like back canyon ground pound as well.
Yeah, in my ideal world, I was thinking, I want to just hug the coastline and peace
Yeah.
out. But I was like, am I sort of enough here? So yeah, in my head, I think, just run to the shop, which on the way would be like, Rumble Pipe, and whatever it's called.
The treasure chests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do shop, bust a fat U-turn, get notes. And this is where it's debatable. Like, you get that one cork, and then from there I had to like count. I couldn't count fast
Yeah,
enough to figure out.
I would have done pretty much what you did, except probably replaced the sub area with the 2 ground pound moves that you didn't get.
Right. Me too, if I had the big brain like you.
I don't have too much of a problem how you did it. I would have gone to Lighthouse after the first court to get a checkpoint. And then I would have gone to Goblet to get a checkpoint.
The poor dude temporarily forgetting where he needed to ground pound there.
Yeah, he's close. He's close now, right?
Yeah, he actually got an underwater moon. I don't know if he realizes. The cork at the Oasis or at the hot spring. He grabbed that one.
So I think he needs 2 more.
Ooh. Do you think he knows though?
Probably not. I wouldn't imagine that he would go for it. That he would even grab it if he realized.
He wants a pretty slick movement though.
He utilizes those spin pounds, which some people who are really good at the game don't do. So yeah, he thinks he has 10 there, but I don't think it matters much anyway.
Let me ask this, okay? Since y'all have been commentating, or maybe you have been, what's the biggest flub? You don't have to say the player, but like any notable flubs you've seen in races so far? People thought they.
Well, I've only this is only my second match I'm commentating, so I haven't seen anything too crazy yet.
I think this might be my 3rd or 4th. But I've also watched a couple more. But the biggest thing that I think I've seen was someone who they had played bingo with another, like, you know, just for fun, and they were operating under some other assumptions. So some things that they thought were sub areas were not. So he ended up getting, I think, pretty much like a Quinn bingo.
Quintuple bingo.
Yeah, that was one of the things that like annoyed me the most. Is there was a lot of confusion like when bingo was first becoming popular as to what counted as the sub area and what counted as a timer challenge. But thankfully we have most of that cleared up at this point through the cheat sheet.
Definitely that. I remember. Okay, on that question here. So sub rooms or any room that Cappy will tell you, hey, there's more coins here. Hey, there's something to look for here. Like Cappy will backseat you if you revisit.
Yes.
Yep.
Is that the sole Is there a room where that is a sub room that doesn't happen in, for example?
No, I think that's like the definitive.
That's what I figured. Okay.
Ruling. And we got 04Dude in here with us now.
What's up?
So, what are your thoughts?
I don't think I should have chosen the seaside line. Or if I did, I should have just actually gotten good.
So is there another row or column that you would have taken instead if you could go back and do it again?
I'm not sure. Because I don't really want to do the coins ones, or...
yeah.
Maybe the column on the very right. I've done that.
I love it.
Yeah, that one wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
Either that or column 1 was the one we said at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since you were already pretty close to getting 28 moons in sand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did you got a lot of moons in sand. Did you have a plan for those, or
no, I was completely like, I mean, I knew where some of the sub areas were, but I was kind of still figuring out my route at that point, like the rows I was gonna get.
So you were kind of just collecting moons out of not knowing exactly what you wanted to do yet.
Yeah, I was getting the sand sub area moons, but also I wasn't thinking ahead before I went to do that.
Gotcha. So just collecting stuff along the way as you got the sub area moons.
Yeah. And I run festival percent. I've never actually done any percent run, but I've done a few festival percent runs, so I don't really know the route past the beginning of Metro.
Yeah, I got confused because it looked like you did
like an any percent run the other day, based on your stream history.
I'm not. Wait. Oh yeah, I also kind of do 2-player any percent by myself. A little bit.
Oh. How does that go for you?
He uses his feet.
It's actually not that hard, and well, it is hard, but it's a little bit. It's not bad. Do you know the first Moonskip 2-player exclusive thing?
Yeah.
That Icky and Shaden doing their run. I've gotten that a few times. I have to kick my controller forward to get the motion control. So I put a foam block in front of my wall.
I love it. Yeah, I was gonna say I only know one other person that's done 2-player as one person, and he uses his feet.
Yeah.
Second controller.
Isaiah? Is it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I want to try and do more than just jump with Cappy, though. Like, I can get Cappy up on the Cascade thing, first Moonskip, pretty consistently, but... Well, I can get him up there, but just lining up Cappy and doing motion control is a little bit hard.
Yeah, I can imagine. So this was both of you, your first match, right?
No, this is my second match. My first one was against Echo, and I think I probably would have won, but so I had to go to get one more painting moon in Wooded Kingdom, the Luncheon Kingdom painting, but I just finished Wooded, and I put my hat on the globe, and I accidentally hit Metro, so I had to do Lost, and then, Cloud and Lost before I could go back.
Wow. Yeah,
So that was-
a mistake.
Yeah.
So you would have finished on that painting?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's rough.
Or maybe I would have gotten a few more hats, but it was actually really fun because in it I did a little glitch on Cascade Kingdom just for fun. I was just not really going that competitive. I mean, I was trying, but anyway, I knocked the chain chomp off because I look into a lot of glitches in Odyssey. And
Yeah,
that was
I
a
noticed
little
that
bit
you did
new.
2 flips in this bingo, so I figured you were a fan of the glitch hunting and such.
Yeah. I don't actually usually do pyramid clip ever. I've done it like a few times, and I usually don't get it that fast, so I'm glad I got that. And I was actually practicing the Lake Kingdom one earlier, today.
Yeah, you got both of those pretty quick, within a few tries.
And then, well, in my first match, I got the Lake Kingdom Painting Moon, the one where you do the jump from the Scarecrow, second try, and that was really funny when I got that. I was kind of, and I actually needed it. If I hadn't gotten it, it would have been longer. And that was actually really fun, even though I lost. It was fun. And this one, I just feel like I wasn't ready enough with the stuff, the rows.
Yeah, I'd say just like becoming more familiar with Seaside and stuff would help out a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I hope it was fun.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Any closing thoughts from either of you guys?
GG's, man. I hated this board. I'm actually hating what I did, honestly. 04.
Yeah.
Board was
One thing before each of you go, though, I don't think that I think you should be really disappointed in yourselves. I think that both of you actually played really well around this board.
Thank you. Yeah, it wasn't an easy board. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, this was a tricky one.
Yeah. I was trying to find something that was before Metro, or yeah, I guess Metro. Before Metro is usually a good row to choose, but there didn't seem to be any good choice. I guess column 1 probably would have been a good one to choose instead of the top row 1.
Yeah, when it came to your route, 04, I saw that you were pretty much done early, and you had to pretty much go through a lot of filler to get your row 5 4th item, the Seaside. Like you had a lot of filler between finishing everything else and getting to Seaside.
Yeah, and I don't usually run past Metro, so, and just day Metro, I've seen runs of any percent a lot, and it was okay, but I feel like I could have done a little bit better. And do you have any tips for me on choosing stuff?
It's really circumstantial, but just the biggest thing is looking for stuff that overlaps.
Yeah.
It's, as far as general advice goes, it's like about the best I can say.
Really, the first thing I look for are things that I want to avoid, and then from there I look at things that aren't bad, and I try to just connect the dots from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we're gonna look to hop off here because we got a link to the past randomizer coming up on this channel in a few minutes.
Okay.
Excellent, excellent.
So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the race. A lot more bingo. We're only in the group stage, so there'll be a lot more bingo matches for you to watch in the coming weeks.
Definitely.
But other than that, enjoy Link to the Past if you're sticking around.
Make sure to check out both runners' channels.
Alright, I think that'll be it for us. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Alright, awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and